So, last breaking news update here for this episode of the Thought Riot Podcast is last episode, I did an update around the Spirit Lake, Idaho shooting of an elderly woman who was living in like one of those, older folk residential things, apartments or something like that. And her name was S.A. Floyd. I said Sa. But the article, like in the press conference, because the police just had a press conference about this, which actually it was the sheriff's. It was the Spirit Lake Sheriff's Department, I think. Or no, Kootenai County Sheriff's Department. They said it was S.A. Floyd, meaning it was initials, and the article didn't put periods there to let me know it was initials.
Sure.
So, S.A. Floyd, for some reason they're not saying her first name. Guess what we got from this press conference?
What?
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, so we're not going to answer that.
Frustration tonight as important questions remain unanswered from the death of a 67-year-old woman last week.
Not surprising.
They said they are the sheriff's department, and it was County Sheriff Robert Norris who spoke the whole time, pretty much. He let everyone know that they were not the ones involved in this, but
why are they making a press conference?
They are investigating the Spirit Lake Police Department who was involved. They have to investigate it, and they are not willing to say anything. They're not even willing to confirm that she was killed by a police officer. They will not say anything.
Yeah, I feel like that's fair. The only thing with this, though, is one thing that we missed in that other video that I saw once I was editing some of that footage is this is the Coeur d'Alene area, the Tin Hat area, that everyone believes that if there is a cult in that area with the cowboys and the Odinist and all that stuff, that's this area.
Yeah.
That is this area.
Kootenai County, yep.
Yep. Well, specifically right around that lake, Coeur d'Alene Lake. There are some weird church religious affiliations in that area, and people have made connections to cult-type beliefs and leadership in that area. So it is strange. And you have an area like that hasn't had any crime for a long time. Then all of a sudden you have a really, really, really strange shooting where things aren't adding up. 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2 in this situation. And why? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It makes you wonder why. It makes you want to look a little bit deeper. It makes you want to understand, what did they have going on there? Is it honest? Is this another situation where, is this some cult leader or person that was involved in something like that? And I understand I'm going totally tin hat here, but I'm just trying to look at things the way some community members might in the true crime community.
Yeah. So even though we basically got nothing, here's what they said. They said that S.A. Floyd was a 67-year-old female who lived alone, which I think is a question I had last time, which did she live alone? Did she have a grandkid that stopped by? Does this have something to do with, a family member? And she lived in a multi-complex retirement facility. It says that her next of kin called police at 6:14 p.m. on November 1st. 2 Spirit Lake police officers arrived 13 minutes later, and a shooting occurred 4 minutes later after that.
After they arrived?
Yep.
And they did say it was a shooting?
It is a shooting.
Shot was fired?
It was a shooting. So she was later found deceased in her apartment. They obviously, like I said, will not say whether it came from a police officer's gun or not. At this time, it's just a call for service, and that's all we're going to release, is what they said. People were asking questions. A lot of the press has, said, well, we're just left with more questions now. And there was a woman there, actually, it's a resident of Spirit Lake. Her name is Debbie Novak. And she was there for answers, and she said she's never seen a press release this tight-lipped. It was just a total waste.
This vague.
Yeah, she said it was a total waste of time. Her son was shot and killed by Spokane police in 2019, and she wanted answers. She wanted to provide support for the family. Her statement was, really hoping that somebody from this woman's family would be here because I thought there would be a few things that would be helpful for them to know, and I just wanted to show support, and I wanted to know what happened.
Yeah. But
Interesting.
No go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep
interesting,
following it because it sounds very similar to the Kopaka incident. I mean, not totally, but, there's some... I think this is most likely a police shooting, but I'm not going to confirm that at all. Like, we don't know, but I'm going to pay attention to it.
Yeah, I'm glad the sheriff is involved too. A lot of times sheriffs have a lot more funding than your local police does.
Sure, yeah.
The amount of training that they have is normally above what your average police officer is. So in a situation like that, I always feel like it's a good thing when sheriffs are involved. Now, of course, that doesn't mean like sheriffs, all of them, you know what I mean? Like, there are going to be problems in sheriff's offices too, but I do feel like there's going to be less problems anytime you're dealing with somebody that has more training than the average person. So,
well, I'm just glad that they are investigating the police department. Like,
yeah.
It's an external investigation from the police department. It's somebody else coming in and seeing if everything was done correct. We'll see where it goes. I mean, I really can't make a judgment call yet. I just thought it was a bit odd that they wouldn't give us anything, and I think...
Except they're investigating. That was good, but...
Yeah, but I think that makes me lean towards thinking it was a police shooting.
Oh,
and
me too. That's what I think.
That's why they won't release any details.
Yep, that's what I think. Because didn't you say in the last video that one of the law enforcement officers was put on leave or something like that?
Yes.
So it makes me feel like that.
Yes, that is important to mention. You're right. One
or
person
maybe,
was put on leave or
maybe
suspension.
That's not what it was. It literally could be anything. That's just what it makes me feel like it is, because the only other option is maybe that woman shot at a police officer and it hit the vest, which could cause him to be on leave. I don't know. There are other options out there, though. They're much less likely.
Yeah.
So.
But yes, I did say that. You're right. There was they said that was standard in the situation, which normally that means a police officer shot somebody.
Yep.
So.
Absolutely. But yeah, we'll definitely watch this because that's an interesting area, and that is definitely where all the cult sacrifices happen. There's a volcano there in the middle of the lake, and, when it's that time of the month, the volcano comes up out of the water, and they got to sacrifice somebody.
Oh, the full moon brings the volcano up, and they all go out there, and they have their little ritual thing. Yeah.
That's it.
For sure.
But let us know what you think.